Hello again, friends. Today we are going to talk about things a classroom has by reading the book School Days. If you're going to follow along for writing, you will need your notebook and pencil. To follow along on the circle map, you're going to record the things you see in a classroom while we read the book. School Days by B.G. Hennessy, pictures by Tracy Campbell Pearson. School bus, cubby, starting bell. Circle time, then show and tell. Bookshelves, desks, pencil sharpener. New friends, old friends, plant monitor. Shapes and numbers, alphabet. Puzzles, blocks, classroom pet. Making rhymes and letter games. Telling time and learning names. Matthew D., Mark and Claire, Jason, Nancy, and Pierre, Molly, Sam, and Gregory, Ruby, Max, and Hillary, Daniel, Jill, and Jennifer, Gail, Rebecca, Christopher. Crayons, scissors, markers, glue, smocks and paper, a perfect blue. Music teacher, librarian, coach and nurse, custodian. Lunchbox, sandwich, popcorn, juice, cookies, apple, Matt's front tooth. Recess, fun time, run, jump, race, ball and tag, touch home base. Feeling sad, feeling mad, someone has been very bad. Seesaw swings and sky-high slides, one more minute, one last ride. Hearing stories, sitting still, listen, line up, fire drill. Writing, reading, practicing, waiting for the bell to ring. Backpack, workbook, pencil case, everything is in its place. Now it's time for school to end. Say goodbye to all your friends. Now it's time to fill in our circle map with things we saw in a classroom in our book. You will need to use your pencil, but I am going to use a pen so that you can see what I write down. I saw in the classroom that they usually had some tables. So to work with my sentence frame, I'm only going to draw one, and then I'm going to label it as a table. And we know that when you sit at a table, you need a chair, which is something else you find in a classroom. Label this a chair. Usually when you sit at the table, you are going to be doing your work. You might use a notebook, a notebook, and with your notebook you would need a pencil, a pencil, or you might do work on a computer at the table. A computer. Something else you might find in a classroom is a bookcase. You might remember that we also saw the bookcase in the library when we talked about places in a school? A bookcase. And of course, on the bookcase, you would find a book. A book. Some classrooms might have a carpet that you can sit on for your lessons if you are not sitting at a table. A carpet. We know there are many other things in a classroom, but my circle map does not have enough space to write them all. When we write, we are going to use the sentence frame a classroom has. Before we write, let's practice the sentence with each of the things in our circle map. A classroom has a table. A classroom has a chair. A classroom has a notebook. A classroom has a pencil. A classroom has a computer. A classroom has a bookcase. A classroom has a book. A classroom has a carpet. Next, we will write our sentences. You need to open your notebook to the next clean page. You will use a pencil to write, but I will use my pen so that you can see. We are going to write 6 sentences today. Start with my sentence frame. A classroom has a table. Remember, the first letter is an uppercase A. A classroom has a table. Remember, I have space between each of my words and a period at the end. A classroom has a chair. A classroom has a chair. A classroom has a notebook. A classroom has a notebook. A classroom has a pencil. A classroom has a pencil. A classroom has a computer. A classroom has a computer. A classroom has a bookcase. A classroom has a bookcase. If you would like, you may also write a sentence about a book and a carpet. When we are finished writing, we always read our sentences. Remember to point to each word. A classroom has a table. A classroom has a chair. A classroom has a notebook. A classroom has a pencil. A classroom has a computer. A classroom has a bookcase. Today we read the book School Days. We thought about the things that we could find in a classroom to fill in our circle map. We practiced the sentence frame a classroom has. We wrote our sentences and we read our sentences.